So I really like this idea, that to be influential isn't necessarily, there's lots of qualities that aren't defined by personality. But one thing that I sort of, I notice about you is, and I think is a quality of influence, and it'd be interesting to talk about whether this is something that's personality or whether it's something that people can develop, but is this sort of magnetism. So I noticed, I was with you at a party on Friday, and you approached me and I was talking to this lady, and you have this wonderful sort of aura about you that it's magnetic. So you draw people's attention, and people want to sort of listen to what you have to say. Do you think that that's something that people can potentially develop? And what do you think is the essence of that?
Thank you very much for that. I don't consciously do it. It just maybe doing it subconsciously. I think it's important to kind of be confident. And confidence, there's so many tricks to be confident. And it's the posture very often. It's how you hold yourself, how you hold the conversation, being polite, very important. And you talk a lot about how this physical presence influence your attitude to people, to you, so you're totally right about it. I don't know about aura and things like that, but just being firm in what you want to tell people, being clear in your speaking sometimes, and things like that can help if you want to have a more physical presence.
Yes.
In a group.
The other thing that I noticed about you, and I was going to ask about, attention, because one of the things that I noticed was you're very present when you're talking to someone. You're very in the moment, and you're very engaged in what they're saying. And even when you're talking, you're very, you're there in your whole body. And I think that's, part of why you sort of have this sort of vitality to this. What do you think of as far as influence, and how important do you think focus is and attention, and where do you think that attention should be?
I totally agree with you. Attention to the present situation, be in the situation, is very important. I think it gives the person whom you talk with the idea that they're important, that they're heard and they're safe, because they can see your eyes, and very often in the eyes you can read much more than in anywhere else.
Absolutely. I think what would be really lovely is if we could have a look at, being confident, like you say, that's a big part of presence. And what can people do? Can we see if we can break it down for people to show them what they can do?
I can tell you what makes me confident. There are days that I feel very, very down, and I don't feel the best myself, and I need to go somewhere, or I need to talk to someone. So I put a mask.
Okay, yep.
So my mask is a makeup.
Yes.
My mask is clothes, and sometimes my mask is a person. So I think of a person whom I admire, and I think, how would this person would act in this situation? And
so you have a specific person that you always use?
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Is it like a famous? Or
sometimes a famous person, sometimes not. Sometimes the person from this particular circle.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be exactly the whole history of the person.
Yes.
It could be just certain gesture or behavior or words. So I just wear this mask for a night, on the night that I'm not myself, I'm not best myself. So it helps.
Do you find when you're doing that, so that's a great sort of way to sort of prepare for something, but do you find at some point during the night that you realize that it's actually you, and that or is it that you kind of go through the whole night and you come home and you kind of take off your mask?
You're right. At a certain point I realized that I grew into this personality, and it becomes more like a tactic, like a technique of myself rather than another personality. And I used it to a number of people. Like once someone told me, "Oh, it's easy for you because you're so confident." And I said, "Well, you just imagine that you are me and act like me." And she said, "Oh." And it helped.
Did she do it?
It helped, yeah.
Maybe I'll be you someday. Awesome. Thank you so much for talking to us. It's been
My pleasure.
Really, really interesting.
Yeah.